What's up, gspree gang? That's right, it's gone and I'm done with it, it's over. NextFest has been a great time in the past to be introduced to so many new video games, just completely fill up my entire wish list, and have something to look forward to. I've made videos cramming in little teasers and introductions to games from NextFest, as well as like 1 or 2 videos on a specific game that I'm really looking forward to, but it's not like that anymore. Demos are fantastic and we've seen so many more over the last like year and a half, and it low-key just makes NextFest a cesspool of overstimulating oversaturation of video games that we've seen blow up months ago already. I feel like if you're around roguelike games, you already know what's going on here, or you've spent more than 2 minutes scrolling the library of what NextFest offers. I think this image really does all the talking here. We used to have a sneak peek of actual titans that I would actually go purchase, and they would actually be released in like 12 months. Or at the very least, it would have a launch into early access that had consistent updates with an actual roadmap that existed that you could go look at. Neat examples, Windblown is one of my top roguelike games of all time. Number 2 is Warden's Will, which I completely went ham on with the amount of videos I made for this game, and on top of that, just falling in love with what Elysia was doing throughout the process of bringing this game from the very first demo that I played to a released and almost finished product. We also played Supervive during a NextFest, which had pre-alphas and closed beta tests before this demo, so the game was like kind of around already, and then it kind of just dropped off the phase while it was still in production, and then it dropped on 1.0, and I was like, holy, this game is so much better than I remember. And I kid you not, every single person I've introduced to this game has had a great time with it. Nine Kings, brother, this is like one of my top 3 roguelike games of all time, and apparently this first launched during NextFest. Into the Grid, which is also hard at work and has been baking in the oven for so long. I'm so excited to see what happens with this game in like a month when it comes out. I could make a whole video reminiscing about all the games that I've picked up and loved from NextFest, but I've already done that, so go check those out. I've created a little playlist. I'll put a card up here somewhere because I'm honestly surprised with how many NextFest videos I've created already. But where we're at right now with indie games in general, demos have a really strong part in bringing in new players and new eyes and getting more feedback. That NextFest just is kind of an accessory. Like, yeah, if you don't have a demo in a NextFest and your demo is up, like Lort, you can just throw your demo in there. But like Lort, there was already a demo available. We already played it. I already put a video on it before I even knew NextFest was a thing. And again, so what does that leave for NextFest now? Well, now we get Half-Baked Unity Slop that's doomed to stay in the release state of coming soon until the demo is just completely dropped because the devs decided to actually work on something that, you know, they've learned from their first demo, their first game. They know what works, they know what don't work, they know what their players like and what, you know, kind of things they can improve on. So rather than releasing that demo or actually doing something with that demo, maybe it actually gets released into an early access where it'll stay for a couple more years with just a couple minor bug fixes from the demo, or it'll just get dropped entirely. Now, I don't want to make a video full of just negativity because that's unprotected and a total downer. I like to bring light and a good viewpoint for games that I actually enjoy playing, and most importantly, think it's interesting or noteworthy to actually share. And even during NextFest, I sometimes talk about non-roguelike games. I know, scary, 'tis the season. So this is where I would clap my hands if I didn't have to hold this microphone. Hold on. There we go. All right. I've got 3 interesting enough looking and feeling games for y'all today. As usual, I'll be linking them in the description, assuming I remember. I'd rather hold this microphone, it makes me feel better. First up, I got a goofy little game in a similar vein to Mycopunk, where you're incarnated as a little meat stick man by a greater scientist being who, I guess, wants to do something with the planets, whether that's take them over or save them or return them to their previously great state. I honestly have no clue, I don't really remember. You can probably also compare this game to Helldivers. I honestly fall down the trap and be a complete and utter victim to, hey, I see current game, let me compare this to other old game that I know of already. So apologies for that. But this game is called Swap Meat because you literally swap meat, those 3 meats being your head, torso, and legs. And shout out to any of you that love and play Skylanders Swap Force, Swappable, Unstoppable. But swapping these sections of your bodies give you different abilities and different movement. You start off as a basic little hat mat chef guy, and then just as you kill enemies, they have a certain chance to drop part of their bodies. We take the spider, for example. You take their legs and you can crawl up little cliffs and like little walls. You can also literally become Washbuckler with your octopus legs and tri-tip hat, and he also breathes fire for some reason. You hop in a little missions and cleanse the land of your enemy. The land's fairly open layout with a central objective that you kind of just make your way towards with little missions in between, or like little objectives that you take care of in between. And then once you're done with all of those, you defend an extraction point and then geo up out of your ship, out of your HQ, and then go drop down on a new ship, do it again. Since it also has the roguelike tag though, what does that look like? Well, you get XP, you level up during the run, and these grant you different little items which just buff your stats. Stuff like crit damage, healing, regen, overall health, damage, you know, the basic stat upgrades like that. They also have rum ham as an item. Swap Meet also offers co-op, and I'll be damned, the early access releases tomorrow. I could be blind, but I didn't see a roadmap anywhere. Honestly, the only thing I think this game really needs is visual and effects polishing. The game feels great to play. I didn't run into any problems, but I also, you know, didn't dump like 40 hours into this because I have a job already. And also take this with a grain of salt because I also don't pay too much attention to detail. Alright gang, let's switch vibes and go way back in time from the time of Swap Meet, because that takes place in the future. That's right, we're gonna go to everybody's favorite time period, the medieval times. The war-torn, grungy world that is Tears of Metal. A hack-and-slash roguelike where you cut down your enemies and reclaim the land in the name of Scotland. The combat style is akin to Baby's First Souls-like, but also in groups of enemies, similar to Dynasty Warriors. As you work your way up the ladder, you fight larger enemies who are capable of larger things, mainly larger damage, and God forbid they'll actually prompt you to parry. Roguelike aspects pop up in the form of unique playstyle upgrades, as well as basic stat boosts like HP, damage, crit chance, etc. I can't go too much into the area of these playstyle upgrades, but think of them similar to like Hades boons. I had a great time just turning my brain off and cutting through enemies during this demo, defending my lands from varmints and bringing down the upper class type shit. There's also an ultimate-like ability where you just rain in a hail of arrows that just melts anything that doesn't have a shield. Again, genuinely had a good time with this. I'm adding this one to my wishlist, curious to see where it goes. Still trying to decide if the vibe is for me, but it has roguelike aspects which I really like in this game, like a map and unique upgrades during the run, and honestly just a natural feeling progression system that offers a challenge, and it also has co-op. I scratch my chin now as I have no deck builders for you today, but I have something in my back pocket that I might share with you at the end of this video. But not before we talk about Godbreakers, another action roguelike co-op adventure where you hack and slash in a Dark Souls-y-like combat style, offering you a large challenge and really putting your skills to the test. Although it's not ungodly hard for what the demo offers right now. Currently, it feels like a really solid demo. It drops us in, gets us familiar with the story. Oh, breathe in that lore, you know, gets us familiar with the combat style and the play techniques, weapons, items, the classic roguelike upgrades of increasing your status. Personally, there's a lot to be desired here. It's not my type of game, and I have a lot that I am looking for. I have high hopes for it. I'm really interested to see where it goes. There's hundreds of people that are already saying it's really good, real positive reviews on this one, and this game is also set to come out later this week. I also don't see a roadmap here, but again, to be fair, they're probably gearing up for this large release, whether that's early access or full release. I don't know. But either way, I'm hoping we're going to see a roadmap, see where we're going to go with this game. The more I think about it, the less I can honestly think of what to actually talk about here. I mean, what you see behind me, apart from the actual story, is the bulk of it. You beat groups of enemies on your way, your little path over to the boss. You beat the boss. Currently, the demo just offers that one boss, and then you end the run, you do it again. Obviously, the full game's going to have more than just that one boss. But the main reason to pick this game up, in my opinion, is the combat. If you really like the combat, you're going to love the rest of the game, because it's really just honing that and perfecting it, and it's, you know, hopefully going to be a little bit more challenging after that first boss. So I'm going to leave Godbreakers right here, though. I'm very bad at Souls-like games, so this is a really good introduction, and it being a roguelike is unfortunately really enticing to me. But having a group of enemies be spawned in a smaller, more controlled environment is really natural to me. You know, you take on that room, you go on to the next room, do it with maybe a little bit harder, maybe a little bit harder, maybe different enemies, maybe all of one type of enemy, maybe a little bit harder, and then there's the boss. Also, the controls are really easy to get into. I did have a good time with it. I will be putting this on my wish list because I do want to see where this goes. Alright, that's all I got. Just those 3 action roguelikes for y'all today. Trigan also hit me up with this game that's like a weird homunculus like Smite Clash Royale love child where it's still like a hero shooter, except you have cards where you summon little minions that go do your thing, go do their thing for you. There's one like basic castle that you just try to destroy, and then that's game. It's a 2v2, so really small, really friendly, you know, get 1 buddy or get 3 buddies, have a little friendly match, and then just throw little minions at each other. If you're interested in a video on something like that, please let me know. I will so be down to try it out, assuming the demo is going to stay up, and I think maybe early access release is coming soon. But as usual, gspree gang, I appreciate you so much for stopping by. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, week, weekend, and I will catch you the next time you catch me.